to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
50 has had so much success with all of his TV endeavors, but, you know, he recently left Starz to go to Fox. So he sat down with Vulture and gave insight to everything that's been happening with him and how difficult it was for him to make this, you know, these changes. But basically, he was like, yo, when he was at Starz, guys, none of us were on Starz. The only reason we were on Starz because of power.
That's right.
And he was breaking records, he was saying he was barely getting $17,000 an episode. And he's like, after a while, I started feeling like, yo, I am outperforming the rest of your programming and still making $17,000. He's like, I could go to a club and wave and make more money. So he was fighting until he felt like, yo, what is the issue? And he felt he was like, yo, he was being racially profiled. He said, I feel like it's racism. So eventually he was like, I'm worth more than this. He packed up his stuff and then he went to Fox.
There it goes. That's how. Listen, sometimes you got to go to grow, and it could be racially motivated, you know, but likely they felt like they were getting away with paying you nothing. And so why would they pay you more if they don't have to?
Yeah, man.
That's usually how these business agreements work.
Yo, am I a bad guy?
If they don't have to pay you, they're not going to pay you.
Am I a bad guy, though, that because it's 50, I take all of his stories like this with a grain of salt?
Why? What happened?
What do you mean?
Because 50's just too shrewd a businessman. Was he really in a situation like that where he was getting paid that badly?
I mean, maybe he was. Why would he say a specific number?
I don't know. It sounds awesome. That whole I could wave in a club line sounds fantastic.
I mean, but if you really think about it, a hosting gig for 50, he can make that money. So he's not lying.
No, I know. I've just seen 50 bully every business situation he's ever in. Now, listen, Hollywood's a different egg to crack, you know. So maybe,
and maybe he took whatever he could get to get in the game, thinking, okay, if I perform, we can renegotiate this contract. So I'll come in on the low, you know what I mean, and get it going, and then they'll renegotiate. It's good, it's feeling good, and then they didn't. So he was like, oh, okay.
Well, lo and behold, shockingly, 51.
In other quick news, New York City delivery workers are about to get a big raise. Mayor Eric Adams announced on Sunday that the city would increase minimum wage for delivery workers to $17.96. The current base pay for delivery workers in the city is around $7 an hour.
Wow, so you're getting a 10. Yo, that's incredible. That's beautiful. I love it.
I mean, listen, these delivery workers have worked through the pandemic, through the worst weather, through our worst air situations, contaminated situations. So the new minimum wage will go into effect July 12th.
Now, it's not great news for what everyone's prices are going to be, or the businesses that can't afford to raise their prices that much, so they just end up folding. Like, there are going to be repercussions for this. The money's not coming out. The government's not providing it.
No. So the money for this will come on the end of us, the people getting the delivery. We'll pay more for the products.
But then there'll be certain places where people won't want to pay more for that product because it won't make sense for that kind of product.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be L's there, too. Businesses will end up in trouble. There'll be smaller businesses that struggle with it. And then there'll be us, of course, that struggle with it.
Now,
but it needs to be done.
Now, I don't know how this works, but most of these delivery workers work through an app, correct? So,
yeah. So is it really like the Seamlesses and the
Grubhubs and that whole thing?
Yeah. Is that where the money is coming from, or I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't really know.
Because I feel like most delivery workers work. I know there's definitely restaurants that have their own delivery people, for sure. But a lot of delivery people we see in the city are working through a service. So, I'm sure they're going to up the fees on the services. They're going to up the fee, the amount that you have to spend on each item that you're ordering and getting delivered. So it's definitely not going to fall on the businesses. Or they're not going to lose their margins is what I want to say.
Yeah, they're not going to lose their.
They don't want to lose their margins.
Yo, we're going to end up in a situation soon where if you want to drive to pick up food, it's going to cost you $23. But if you want to order the food, the tip's going to cost you $23 as well.
That's right.
So good luck.